Nerd EXP Cinecast, episode 25.
What's going on, Internet? I'm Christopher Peterson. You're listening to the Nerd EXP Cinecast. This week, I'm hanging out with Drew.
Hello.
And Guillermo.
I am here again.
In the spirit of Edgar Alvarez.
Who's that?
Exactly. Who? If this is your first time joining us, thanks. If you're coming back, well, you're in for a treat. Each week, we go through the week's top entertainment headlines and discuss the industry to help you level up your movie IQ. As always, readers come first, and have a special shout out on our Facebook group, which you should join, for friend of the show, Ivan. As you know, right now we have a March Madness movie score and themes bracket going on. Through no solicitation, Ivan took it upon himself to create a Spotify playlist of all the songs that are up in the running. If you need a refresher, check out this list. It's well organized, it's easy to follow. It's a lot faster than doing YouTube searches yourself. Thank you, Ivan. We appreciate your contribution, and we appreciate you being on the page and liking the show.
Very cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the other shout out is recently, I like we're a podcast based out of Florida. If you guys didn't know that. So I found a similar podcast within the area that focuses on events of the Northeast Florida area. And that's the Shortbox podcast. So check those guys out. Pretty interesting podcast. It seems like they've been doing it for a while, so definitely check them out.
Well, thank you guys for checking us out. If you like what we have to say, please like this podcast. Give us a review on YouTube. Leave a comment. If you want to be part of the conversation, you can email us at nerdexp@gmail.com. Jumping into movie news for this week, Deadpool filming revealed. I think I've said this before, but I didn't believe this was actually a movie. This always felt like it was like a crazy idea Ryan Reynolds had with Fox and like this, a joke they were playing on everybody.
Yeah, I swear I never had heard anything about Ryan Reynolds even being in the movie officially. And then it's filming with him. All of a sudden.
I mean, so they had the test footage, and that's all we had seen of this thing, and it was somebody else in the Deadpool suit, voiced by
it wasn't even somebody else. It was animated, wasn't it?
I thought it was just CG. Yeah.
Yeah. It was animated. I mean, it might have been motion capture.
I think that's what I remember hearing. That it was somebody else inside the suit, and then voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
Helping you level your movie IQ by asking questions we can't even answer ourselves.
Ryan Reynolds' voice was definitely in it.
Yes, 100% on that one. So they revealed also, or there's been other cast that's already been revealed. So
Marina Baccarin from
she's been in the Invasion. She's also
Firefly.
In Firefly. She was also in Homeland.
Oh, the tall, skinny woman.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a very pretty girl. So definitely, she's been in quite a few shows that have a following. So
she was confirmed to play Copycat, who is not a good person, but ends up loving Deadpool in her own sadistic way.
Catwoman.
More like Mystique.
Okay.
And then also TJ Miller was confirmed. He is a goofy sidekick character. You might have seen him in other stuff. Nothing jumps out of mind. That would be like his most memorable role. He does one of the voices for How to Train Your Dragon, Tough Nut.
Oh, it's the guy from Silicon Valley.
Yes,
absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I love him.
Yes,
he ruined Super 8 though. Not Super 8. Sorry, Cloverfield.
Cloverfield.
Not his fault though. Yeah, not his fault. His character.
Cloverfield was okay. Why does everybody hate on Cloverfield?
No, my problem with Cloverfield is the cameraman. How unrealistic it was that his friends didn't rip the camera from his hands and throw it away. because he was super annoying. I would be like, if I were part of that group, I would have punched the camera and thrown him over the bridge.
Noted.
Cloverfield was definitely one of those movies that had a amazing trailer that the
teaser
that the movie could not live up to. Like that premise was much better suited for 2.5 minutes than it was for an hour and a half.
Yeah. Side rant too. J.J. Abrams tried to repeat that with Super 8, and I think that really hurt Super 8. I love Super 8 is one of my favorite movies of all time, and he tried to repeat that whole teaser trailer, and he made it seem so mysterious and kind of horrific. But the movie was nothing like it, and people who saw it were very let down by the advertising.
One of the coolest things I think that Cloverfield had going for it was the reveal of the monster. I'm not big into horror films, but I just thought the reveal, the first time that we get to see the monster, and you're exactly right, Super 8 did very similar reveal, very similar monster for
Yeah, the monster was very similar.
Spoilers!
There's a monster?
So... that's I think what that movie had going for it. I enjoyed it, but to this date I've only seen it once when I saw it in the movie theaters. But I walked out of it happy as anything.
Yeah, I never saw it a second time.
Did any of us mention that in movies with rewatch value? Because that's definitely a movie that you only have to see once. Big oversight on our part.
Yeah, but I think that goes with a lot of horror films.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe because I just don't. It's not the genre that I radiate towards. It's just, I've seen a lot of horror films and whatnot, but I've seen it once, and I've never gone back to watching more than once. I think the only horror film that I can tell you that I've seen more than once, just right off the top of my head, it was the Leprechaun.
Tusk.
Of course, Tusk. The Leprechaun would have been the other one.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
So to confirm, Deadpool is filming.
Yes, Deadpool. And it is happening.
Moving on, I don't think we need to talk about this very long, but last week I was criticized for saying the Russo brothers were directing Avengers Infinity War 1 and 2.
Sorry.
Because it not have been confirmed. Which is correct. It had not been confirmed.
Right?
It has now since been confirmed. Good move. Winter Soldier was my favorite. Glad to see them move forward with it.
And they still have mysterious project with Sony, right?
Yeah,
they were linked to the Ghostbusters reboot, but not officially, right?
Right, and then there's still the Sony project, which could be they're going to be the ones involved with a possible Spider-Man movie again. So it's pretty interesting. What's Josh Whedon going to do?
He specifically said that he is done. That he loved the Avengers, he loved his experience here, but that he has spent too much time playing with other people's toys. Okay. He wants to go back to creating his own universe and characters and stop working on franchises.
Do you think we're going to see a Buffy?
So he's not going to do Star Wars Episode 9?
I mean, that's what he says, but when you get a pile of money, you're like, wow.
Well, it's not just a pile of money. I mean, I
would direct Star Wars Episode 9 for $1.
For less than that. I mean,
it would suck, but...
Actually, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was talking about this. In all seriousness, what exactly does a director do anymore? With all the other roles on set, like you have people dedicated to sound and visuals and editing and camera work and special effects and casting and everything. The movies are so micromanaged, and you have producers overseeing the whole thing, overseeing the director.
Yeah. I think the director is what is the word I'm looking for?
He's the boss.
He's the boss. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the words my bosses use at work.
Project manager,
delegate, the delegator. He has to delegate everything. I mean, it's his vision. So he says what he wants.
That's the
hopes that these other people can give him what he wants.
He's the go or no go. He's the one that's going to say we're good, we got the shot, or we don't. I mean, you can bring a cinematographer, you can bring a producer, you can bring whoever you want. If the director isn't happy with it, that's it. So the director is the ultimate responsibility of how the movie turns out. The director oversees editing. The director oversees.
All right.
A lot of the roles.
And if the producer wants control, he hires a pushover director. Return of the Jedi.
But then we see a lot of these things, though, too. As you mentioned, like the more and more and more, as the movie universe or roles have expanded, another thing that has expanded is actually the responsibility of directors. I mean, nowadays in movies that we're watching is not only, the director is not only the director, but he's also the screenwriter and he's also the editor. So
like Coen brothers are very involved with editing, writing, and directing. They're so OCD about their movies.
I agree.
So I think that's why.
I feel like it's more the indie guys, like your Kevin Smiths, your Woody Allens, your
Woody Allen is actually very laissez-faire. Like he writes a script, but he's not much of a director. And this comes from like interviews with actors that I've seen. Like he gives them the script and is like, do it, and if they need direction from him, he will replace them because he doesn't think they're good enough.
So see, you could direct a movie.
Yeah.
We just need to build the right ensemble cast around you, and you'll be fine.
True. But I think like comparing it to Hollywood classics like golden age of cinema, people were a lot more obsessed with producers back then. I think it was like Cecil B. DeMille would have been the first major director, but before then it was always the producer, the studio head. That was the big deal.
That's right.
And that the name would be on the poster and whatnot.
That's right. I mean, now, kind of circles back to where we started. The Russo brothers are known for not only being the directors, I mean, and these are two guys who are credited 100% as directors. So definitely they don't share one vision, but they definitely share, I guess, as a whole package, they share what they want. Because they control more than just the directing, they control the screenplays and the editing, and so
yeah, I completely agree that there are directors like that who do have an oversight and do get their hands dirty. But then, like, I don't know, I do think that that's a role that you could very easily hide yourself in, hide inadequacies. Maybe not while you're coming up, but you could surround yourself by really talented people who do.
Right. Yeah.
Which they say good bosses hire people smarter than them.
Yep.
So maybe that's just what they're doing.
Are you excited though that it's them?
Yeah, I mean, I loved Winter Soldier. I thought it was the best told story. Like, I think it was the best story so far in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Depending on what day you catch me, it's my favorite movie in that franchise. But I think I always consider it's the best story that was put together.
I agree. Yeah, I think it's the one movie that it justified every movie, every sequence that was on there. It was very well justified. There's a lot of the Avengers movies and a lot of the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies that have some sequences that are just put there as fillers, or maybe it's just to show off how shiny the Iron Man suit is. But these guys really, every scene had a reason. So I like that. And that goes back to the editing. So I'm excited it's them. I'm excited it's not anybody new to the universe. So that's what I'm like glad that they just kept with their own people.
I'm pretty okay. I mean, it wouldn't. I probably wouldn't make a difference to me if it were Joss Whedon or the Russo brothers. I think I would need to rewatch it because I haven't, or either one really. But I at this point I would say I like Avengers more than Winter Soldier.
That's fair. A ringing endorsement from Drew.
Yes.
Okay.
The reason the reason I joked about Joss Whedon doing 9 was because there's a little bit of news, Star Wars 9, excuse me, a little bit of news / rumor / leak, I don't know, that Disney had reached out to J.J. Abrams to return for Star Wars Episode 9. Because as we said last week, Ryan Johnson was finally officially announced for Episode 8.
Which was surprising.
And still no Episode 9 director, which is, I mean, that's 4 years away, so whatever. And I don't know, it hasn't been said why J.J. Abrams isn't doing 8.
That to me is just the biggest mystery, and I hope, and you heard it here first, there's been a lot of firsts on this podcast.
No, let's not pat ourselves on the back.
There's been a lot of firsts. I think J.J. Abrams got tasked to put together the next Indiana Jones franchise. and I'm calling that right now. I think that's the only reason we're going to find out more and more that he's stepping aside for another project. And I think it's going to be J.J. Abrams takes over the next franchise and reboots that franchise.
That way, George Lucas doesn't get involved.
So I think that's where they're going to go.
He's the new Lucasfilm Godfather.
Yeah, and I mean, J.J. Abrams and Spielberg have already played together, and they
True.
They did well.
And as I said 5 minutes ago, I loved
their product
collaboration.
So that's what I think. I know we don't speculate, but I really do
speculate
think
a lot more as time goes on.
But I just don't think Disney's not the kind of company that shoots their own, their own golden eggs, so to speak. I mean, they got a perfect thing going with this guy.
Exactly.
Hopefully, because I mean, we haven't seen it, but it looks like they got a perfect thing going with J.J. Abrams. So,
another possibility I think is that they're doing Star Wars every 2 years rather than every 3 years, which would be something they would choose a different director for 8. So that they have more time to get prepared. So J.J. Abrams isn't rushing from 7 to 8. See, Ryan Johnson is coming off of Looper. Was that, 2-3 years ago?
Are you saying that they're going to film them for 3 years?
More preparation.
No, I'm saying
you get more time to prepare.
The directors will have more time to prepare because the Star Wars movies are being released 2 years apart.
Right.
While in, the last trilogies, everyone was 3 years apart.
Gotcha.
So maybe,
which means by December of this year, there better be some camera work already going on with the next movie if they are going to make that.
Right. And they've already announced it for summer, so it's really less than 2 years from Episode 7. So,
video games. Call of Duty is not made by the same team every year, even though it comes out annually. They have 2 rotating teams, now 3. So that definitely makes good sense.
It's a good thing. I mean, as long as they don't fail. I mean, this is where it becomes it. There's been a lot of the speculation already, but no one's really seen the final product. The most that we've seen is how long was the trailer? 30, 40 seconds?
It was 2 minutes.
It was a solid time. Yeah, it was
of actual scenes, though.
A minute and 20. A minute 20, I believe it was.
Yeah, but if you put all the scenes together, it didn't reveal anything. It showed a few characters.
Five or 6 shots, basically.
Right, so I think somebody put it all together without the voiceover and the screen going dark. It's like a 30-second...
I need to rewatch that. I haven't watched it in...
I know it's been a little bit. I think I stopped at 12 and then that was it.
I remember watching it. I'm going to get reactions, but Stormtroopers formidable. They're not going to be formidable. I'm kidding myself. They're going to be bad shots. They're going to be worthless. They're not going to be doing anything worth anything.
What if they finally got to man? They got it right.
They got new guns. The new guns light up now.
What if Han, Luke, or Leia get killed by a random stormtrooper? Not a named character, just a random laser bolt happens to get them.
Ooh, that's realistic.
Been waiting all my life for this.
Last bit of Star Wars news to kind of wrap that up. John Williams.
Yeah.
I don't know if you recognize that name.
You better.
Every song ever in Hollywood.
Especially if you're following our bracket.
Yeah, he's king of the bracket. John Williams, it was announced, we spoke about it last week that he was not going to score Rogue One, which really was no surprise to me. But it was announced, I don't know if we mentioned it on our podcast last week, I can't remember. He's not scoring Spielberg's next movie, which is the first time since, I believe, the 1980s that he hasn't scored a Spielberg film. And it was due to health reasons, which they say has been corrected now and he's fine, back to normal. But he's unable to fly to London to score Star Wars Episode 7. So he's going to score Star Wars Episode 7 in Los Angeles with a Los Angeles orchestra, which is monumentous because it's the first time a Star Wars film has not been scored with the London Symphony Orchestra in London. So, big deal. Wanted to mention that.
USA.
Yeah.
That's cool. there are very talented artists everywhere. I'm sure
Right.
that the LA Orchestra
Nobody's gonna notice.
is going to do an amazing job.
It's
the name.
It's just trivia.
It's
Yeah.
the name, though. I mean, it's always been the London Philharmonic that's accompanied
London Symphony.
the London Symphony that's accompanied Williams and his scores for Star Wars. But he's known to conduct, like, while he's not doing movies, he's directing the Boston Pops Orchestra.
Right. Yeah.
So
he can work with anyone, I'm sure.
and that's exactly, I think I read somewhere that he had like the explanation why, and he said, I trust, I've done plenty of magic over there with the London studios, and I'm ready to do it here because I trust the musicians that are here. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. With that is just the fact that they're starting to localize everything more and more here. I mean, granted that the movie did shoot in England at Pinewood Studios, so that's pretty cool. We're getting some more stuff here. John Williams doing it again, so that's a good thing.
Is there anything else we're doing locally lately?
Absolutely. So that's kind of where I was going to tie into. With Pinewood
Good
Studios, something that caught me by surprise, something, as you all, are completely aware now, is I'm in Twitter now. And it's a, I wouldn't call it an addiction, but I'm definitely more aware of stuff because I'm on it constantly. So because I'm on it constantly, I've been seeing a lot, I follow a lot of entertainment sites and whatnot, and some of the things that they post, one of the companies or the groups that I'm following is Casting News. So whenever there's open casting calls for movies, they send out the alert and they say it, like, people in this area, casting call for this. So the way it started is this past week, it was casting call for the Captain America Civil War. I'm like, holy crap, it's happening already? So I did more research on it, and it was casting call for Atlanta, Georgia. So I did a little bit more research. So in Atlanta, Georgia, they think, we've been hearing about this a lot. In the movie industry, the state of Georgia right now has a crazy incentive that's attracting a lot of filmmakers and a lot of movies. Plus, Georgia has a lot of landscapes that can double for a lot of cities. I mean, they have the big city, they have the country, they have mountains, so they can double for a lot of scenes. So that's one of the things. So what I did find out also is, Pinewood Studios opened a new location in Atlanta. So just north of Atlanta. It's pretty much, if you go on Google Maps and satellite image, you'll see like green fields, and then all of a sudden you see like 5 or 6 sound stages next to a farm. And that's Pinewood Studios. Everything is brand new. And so that's where Captain America Civil War is going to be shooting. And as soon as they finish Captain America, then the same studio keeps going into production for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. So that's pretty interesting.
Star Wars Episode 8? Question mark?
Pinewood Studios, you're making a mistake. Come down to Jacksonville. We're going to have some shipyards built here soon. No state income tax.
That's right.
We have a street or two that can look like a big city.
So get your head out of your ass.
So that's pretty exciting that the industry is coming back again into here. And it's pretty cool. I mean, as a fanboy that I think we all share, is it would be pretty cool to maybe make it into while they're shooting a scene of something, and for us, being that we're, like we revealed earlier today, that we were based out of Florida, it's not, Atlanta, Georgia is not too far. So
I mean, to me, this is big. And I don't know if these films are shooting in Atlanta as opposed to Hollywood, but just because of all the out-of-country shooting. I mean, a lot of these movie studios are American businesses, and I prefer it if they were to do as much work and employ as many American people as possible. So I think
What movie was it that ended with, like, this created so many jobs or whatever? I want to say it was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
No, but I couldn't tell you for a fact.
I think it was at the end of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Was like this, shot in New York or something.
Yeah, this film employed this many people or something, and maybe I laughed out loud. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's a positive.
That's pretty
thing.
cool. I mean, granted that they are shooting in Atlanta, but they're still listed as on their shooting locations or filming locations. Of course, they're still going to go to the exotic places. They're still going to go to the Morocco's, and they're still going to go to, the New Zealands of the world.
Sure.
Because there's just those one thing that they're looking for. But, when they just need people to have a conversation in the middle of the street while heavy traffic is going through, like those kind of shots, you can get them in those kind of locations. So that's pretty cool.
Moving on to TV news. Orange is the New Black.
Yes.
Relisted as a drama for award season.
Right.
Congratulations,
Where it
award
belongs.
givers.
So Netflix, and I guess I am not sure how exactly it works, but I guess this kind of gave me a little bit of insight of how it works. Is as each season gets renewed, and you're gonna be putting your TV show for contention for the academies. You got it listed as a certain category. For the first 2 seasons, Orange is the New Black was listed under comedy. Granted that this is...
I'm shaking my head.
I know. It has its funny moments. I do not think that was correctly done. Again, when I started watching Orange is the New Black, it was because I thought it was a comedy, and I was ready to laugh. And while I was watching it, I was very confused because I'm laughing in some areas, but some of this stuff, and maybe I'm not getting the humor of things, but it was very dramatic. It was very character-driven drama. I mean, that's exactly what it was. It was just a drama. So it was revealed this week that Orange is the New Black now gets relisted as a drama. So now we're going to be... I still don't think they're going to have a chance of winning. I think now even less, but at least they're going to be recognized for the right things. And maybe some of the talent on the actors and actresses maybe gets recognized.
Apparently, the new Netflix series Bloodline, which just premiered this past Friday, is a contender for awards.
Yeah.
It's going to have to beat out Daredevil.
We get in
April 10th.
April 10th?
No.
Next couple weeks.
So, other TV news, Sherlock, the BBC show with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. Benedict is everywhere, and this is destroying the shooting schedule for Sherlock.
Aww.
So much so that they previously announced that the 4th season won't be filmed for a long time. So to make up
What's
for
Cumberbatch doing?
every movie, spy
Doctor
thriller,
Strange?
That's it, right?
I'm sure he's in a lot.
I mean, he's in a lot. Like, I feel like he's a hot commodity. Like, it comes up. I know he just had like 2 or 3 movies come out.
Yeah, but what's
So-
Doctor Strange? Doctor Strange is not gonna kick in for a while, right? So we don't know, right?
And they still haven't announced that. I remember there was a bunch of scuttlebutt of like,
No, they revealed that they confirmed that Doctor Strange is going to be Cumberbatch. That's that they.
I'm starting to doubt myself. But I was pretty certain when I said it.
Yes, I think so. Definitely comment, guys, if you have any other sources. But I'm pretty sure that is the case. That he was announced as the next Doctor Strange. So I feel like he's got that project. But you're exactly right. He has taken on quite a few roles that he is very iconic. And he's, whether his voices with Smog, Smog, it's taking a lot of his time, I guess. But you're right, he is a commodity.
Star Wars Episode 7, wink wink.
That's the one that I guess it was on the back of my mind, but I just didn't know if that's the. We don't talk about rumors.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't been confirmed, but he has.
I think that's kind of fallen off the map. People gave up on that.
Make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, all that setup is
Yes.
It was recently announced that they are doing a Christmas. It was previously announced they were doing a Christmas special. So not a full season, but they'll do a Christmas special. Which the way Sherlock operates, that's a third of a season anyway.
Right.
So and it's going to be set in Victorian London.
BBC loves Christmas specials.
They do. And they
What do you mean it's going to be set in Victoria? What the heck?
It's going to be out of time, out of sync. It's going to be its own
Caught me off
episode.
guard there.
And it's going to be like Sherlock Holmes proper, not modern day.
I do not watch exactly. So I do not watch Sherlock Holmes, but it was my understanding that this new Sherlock Holmes was in like real time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
It was in modern times. How are they going to explain this timeline?
I mean,
I think they're not going to
it's just
explain
going to
it.
be like a one-off or a dream sequence, or like, oh, I'm reading a book. What? Or oh, look at this old case. Like, I don't know. It's
Maybe
gonna
it'll
be
mash up with Doctor Who,
That's. I mean, so
like
that's
Moffat.
right?
That's where I was when I first read this. Even though I knew I had read Sherlock Holmes, the whole time I'm thinking like, wait a second, I didn't know Cumberbatch was in Doctor Who. Like, because that's the whole time I'm thinking like it's the same thing. So surprise.
Backing up. And
Yes.
I know I don't watch anything you ever tell me to watch. You should watch Sherlock. It is a good show.
Yes.
I like the first season. The second season's better. Third season's the weakest of the three.
Okay.
But still, overall, like a good experience.
How long of what were we talking? Hour episodes?
They're movies. They're like an hour and a half.
And there's a couple of them?
There's 9 right now.
3 per season.
That's it?
Yeah.
I think I can handle
It's
that.
4.5 hours each season.
How do they air? They just air over like 3 weekends or?
Yeah. Here they air on PBS. 10 minutes of commercials from sponsors, then the full hour and a half, and then a thank you and more commercials, and no commercial breaks or anything.
How does PBS get that gig, man? I guess they just have the deal with.
Thanks to viewers like you.
That's right.
Oh.
From BBC.
Not like
They
me.
just have the hookup from BBC. They just go for public television.
Sticking with BBC, a little bit linked to BBC, very similar. I'm not going with where you think I'm going, but you can continue on. Netflix is so sneaky, but I was looking through Netflix's upcoming releases, and their series Derek, which is co-produced by BBC, the Ricky Gervais series, is also getting a special, like a 1-episode special. Not Christmas because it's airing next month, but I'm really excited because I love Derek. But yeah.
I can see
BBC loves
doing a Christmas special in March.
When I read that, though, when I read the news about Derek getting, I guess, their special, I was so surprised that the same article was accompanied by, due to the lack of success of Derek. I thought that had done well.
I mean,
Or it was known enough that it was always recommended or top.
I mean, we run into this a lot. Critically well is not the same as commercially well. Like, just because...
I don't know,
It's
like Netflix, there's like
but it's
no
Netflix,
commercial.
so what
well,
really is
kinda.
exactly? How does Netflix knows whether something made it or didn't? Is it based on? I guess it's based on how many people have viewed it.
Views, tweets. They still sell DVDs.
I'm sure it was out of
House
social
Cards.
media. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's not.
I guess it's getting word of mouth, so they get more subscribers. I guess that's how they.
I love Derek, and I recommend it.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yes, sticking with BBC, Chris.
Downton Abbey has confirmed that their 6th season will be their last. They've aired 5 seasons, so this means the next season will be the last.
Airing this year, right? They've already filmed it or are in
Yes.
the process of filming it?
Yes, airing this year.
Wow.
So, I tried to watch the show.
Do you watch it? So, Chris.
I watched the first episode.
Okay.
I didn't like any of the characters. I thought they were all assholes. I thought they were all miserable people. And I'm just like, I do not want to sit through jerks being jerks to each other. Poor crippled war guy. I felt really bad for him. So no, I didn't really care for it.
Okay.
So I dropped off it.
I went 2 or 3 years thinking this was an American PBS production because it aired on PBS, and then I found out it was BBC, and I was like, whoa.
So you
That
have
makes a
seen
lot of
it?
sense.
Are you watching?
Just bits and pieces.
Bits and pieces?
Yeah, my girlfriend watches it, but
I have no reason to get into this show. I just don't. It definitely feels like it's something. The first time I saw it, it was exactly like that on PBS. I thought it was like an old show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, why are they playing this thing, and why are people obsessing over this? But it has a huge following for something as
it does.
what it is.
I I'm the only person I know who's watched it, and my wife, that didn't like it. Everybody else who's ever seen it says it's amazing and great, and it's Game of Thrones set in Victoria, like old England. It's
so popular that I don't know if you guys have caught the trailer for the next Judd Apatow movie with
Bill Hader
and Amy Schumer. Is it?
I don't know her name.
I think it's Amy Schumer.
Blonde.
Yes.
Stand-up comedian.
Yes. Amy Schumer, right?
Yes.
Okay. Her new movie. I'm blanking right now on the title of the movie.
But anyway,
so the whole deal is one of the big like jokes of the trailer is LeBron James telling the Bill Hader's doctor's character like, we're watching Downton Abbey. I don't want everybody in the locker room talking about it tomorrow, and I have no idea about it. So it's that big popular culture that they're going to be in movies like that. So
yeah,
that was pretty interesting. So last season, I guess for Downton Abbey, something that we thought was over.
By the way, it's Downton.
Downton, not downtown. Downtown Abbey is
I tried not to say downtown, did I?
No, I don't know if you did.
I just did because I have no idea about the show. But the next one that surprised us, I guess today, we had heard the rumors that it could be happening.
Yeah, just 2 days ago?
That's right. Yeah, and then just to go back again and make a point that our podcast calls it on our podcast episode of what would you remake or what would you reboot. Edgar did say that he would reboot the X-Files, and we all agreed it was a great idea. Fox definitely listened because today they renewed the X-Files for what they're saying it's going to be a series event.
Short series, like 24?
Something like what they did with 24. They bring it in for 6 episodes. They're bringing everybody back, and everybody being Mulder and Scully.
What about the Mulder replacement?
Mulder and Scully.
I didn't know it was ever replaced.
Yes.
Yeah.
When he's taken.
Oh, I didn't know that.
When he's taken.
I've never watched
or
more than 2, maybe 3 episodes of X-Files.
I wonder if it holds up. Like, have you guys
I haven't rewatched it, but I remember
Sliders does not hold up.
I think, based off of the few episodes of X-Files I've seen, and watching Californication now and The Fall, which is another Netflix BBC mashup, original production, whatever, with Gillian Anderson, they've both gotten way better as far as acting goes. So I'm really excited to see this X-Files.
That's exactly what it was when they were doing X-Files. It's not like it allowed them to act.
Yeah.
So they both taken a lot of roles, beyond their X-Files career, and they are really good character actors. They are really good. So definitely it's going to be really interesting to see how they fit again. Something, that I have a memory of X-Files is that, doesn't happen often, but some of the episodes of X-Files just freaked me out when I was watching them, to the point that they did that so well. And I really do hope they bring some of that back for a 6-episode event. I mean, that's pretty significant. A lot of fans are happy about that.
When I was a kid, my mom wanted to watch X-Files, and I turned off the TV and I said, no, it's too scary.
That's right.
And I think I might have seen 1 episode or just commercials, but in my mind, I'm like, no, we cannot watch this show.
Talk about a freaky intro. I mean, as a kid, I remember just the intro freaked the crap out of me. I mean, going back again to our
bracket?
Our bracket, it didn't make the cut, or preliminary cut of when we were trying to research this. The X-File theme was significant, but we didn't really thought it was significant enough to make it.
That was a mistake.
I think so. It's recognizable enough. So,
one thing I'd say about the show is, I know it has a rich history and a lot of followers. This has to be a mini-series, practically. Like, they can acknowledge the past and say that stuff happened before, but it cannot be burdened by it. Like, they can't have an episode end with the smoking man and no explanation and expect new people to be like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Like, they can't rest on its lore. It has to, capture that.
Right, so I mean, going back, definitely out of this podcast, where we definitely True Detective has a lot of fans. I felt like True Detective, to me, felt a lot of what I had envisioned an X-Files would be like nowadays. It would be something like that. That's what they were. They were detectives of the paranormal. So they that's kind of what we're, no spoilers, I don't think, on True Detective. That's kind of the twist of the things where things end up going to a little paranormal stuff. So that's it. I mean, I'm glad it's happening again.
So, I don't know if anybody on the show called it, but I feel like fans called it for a while now. Game of Thrones, HBO staff, producers finally actually said they will surpass the books, more than likely. That the rate at which they are going to pump out seasons, they are going to reveal the story faster than George R. Martin will write it. I think there's always been kind of a theory of are they just going to go left and he's going to go right? Are they going to stall until he catches up? Are they just going to stop production? No, George is very involved in the show, it sounds like, and that he's told them their path, and that they did say that they might get there slightly different because obviously he hasn't published the books, but they will end in the same spot.
That's so crazy to me. I think as an author, I think the guy should have just said, no, you got to wait for my books. Because to the point, it takes, and maybe the guy's getting a sweet deal already for the TV shows, but as an author, you write, your books sell because it's the new story, it's something that people want to know about. But if the, the big spoilery stuff of why people read the books is, it's already out, I think the sales would be very low.
I think he makes more off the TV show than he does the books, probably.
I'm sure, but as an author, at the end of the day, he's an author. So I think as an author, he would take a little bit more pride into it and ownership of his stories, his characters.
I'm just wondering when people are going to stop obsessing over Game of Thrones.
When it ends. This is going to be like Harry Potter. It's going to be loved until it's over. Wow. And even after that, it's still...
And we already know it's going to be over with so many seasons, or do we know that?
I want to say 8.
Right? And then right now we're...
Season.
So there's 2 more seasons?
We're about to start 5.
So there's 3 more seasons.
We haven't even started 5, so depending on how you look at it.
4.
5, 6, 7, and 8. Holy crap.
Engineer here.
Right? Don't trust.
I know this is slightly off medium, but anime does this all the time. Mangas get created, 4 or 5 books get published, whatever. Huge success. Anime picks it up. Right. Anime starts off strong, has a good first season or first couple episodes, and then there's a point where instead of the author of the manga is involved, it's somebody else, and the story goes freaking boomerangs out to the left, and it falls apart. So I think that if George is involved as much as everybody's trying to spin it, then I think it'll be good for the show at the very least. So that way we don't get some crazy wackadoo ending. All right, Drew, are you sitting down?
Yes.
I got some bad news for you. The Nintendo announced the Zelda Netflix series is supposedly a no-go.
Bah.
Keyword though, supposedly.
I am one step ahead of you. I have
check
here.
I have confirmation from Nintendo.
My good friend Miyamoto.
Satoru, how do you say his name? Iwata, whatever. We'll just go with his last name.
That's right.
President of Nintendo currently. His quote: "As of now, I have nothing new to share with you in regard to the use of our IPs for any TV shows or films, but I can at least confirm that the article in question is not based on correct information." That is a political response if I've ever heard one. A dodge.
I almost wish they wouldn't reporters wouldn't allow that. So they would go to no, yes or
you
no.
didn't hear my question.
Can somebody translate?
You're right. People are jumping the gun, but people jump the gun with the initial announcement.
Right?
Too.
Yeah. There was. Nothing's ever been official on this. So.
Which
I'm half excited by this possible news that it's not happening, because I thought it would be much better served as a film than a TV series.
And maybe that's what it is. I mean, so we've seen Netflix already taking a few risks. They're going series. They posted that new series. Now they're nominated. They're award nominated Netflix. Then they're going to take, they did partnerships with other big TV studios with BBC and releasing some of their shows and distributing here in the US. And then now taking into a couple series of their new season, we talked about it last week, is they're going on an episode by episode basis. So Netflix already as a studio is doing a lot of new things. The article talks about a TV show, and Drew brings an excellent point here. What if Netflix really thinks they got something going here, and they might venture out into the movie business and make a full-length movie that, in order to watch it, you got to pay $2 to watch it. You can either go to the movie theater and watch it in a movie theater and pay $12, or pay $2 and see it on top of your $15 subscription to Netflix. Pay $2 to see it.
I don't think they would have any additional pay to watch.
They might.
I think
as a studio,
I think how it would be is it would just come to Netflix a couple weeks, maybe a month later.
No,
same with VOD.
I agree with you. I understand what you're trying to say, and maybe you're right.
I think that would be a huge bomb for Netflix.
It'd be, even if they made money, I think that their stock will drop. I think that their clout with
it would also hurt theater sales.
It would hurt.
Whoever
the theaters would boycott everything, but
they wouldn't even show it.
Right.
They made an exception for the interview because of all the shit.
That's exactly it.
They wouldn't allow day and date weird.
Believe it or not, the interview did a lot of things for the industry, and that's going to is exactly that. It tested the waters, how the industry was going to respond to that model. If anybody's going to do it, it's Netflix. Netflix is not going to care.
Yeah, they're the only ones that can stand up to the movie studios, or at least the movie theaters.
I don't know if they'll do it with such a powerful
franchise,
franchise such as Zelda. So
something more interesting. Thinking back to the original Zelda news leak, break, whatever. It was in the article that I read that Netflix was still seeking writers for Zelda. Like, they maybe possibly leaked the information to get more people to notice that they're looking for writers, and maybe Nintendo hasn't been pleased with what's been coming in, and they're saying, because they've been burned basically every movie they ever had made before.
Nintendo has.
Yeah, Nintendo's been burned, and they've been. I remember, God, when I first started getting into movie news on the internet, movie blogs and stuff, Metroid was in the works thing, right? With John Woo as the director, and Nintendo pulled the plug because they're like, this is going to bomb. We don't want another bomb like Super Mario Brothers.
That's exactly it.
So they're going to be super picky.
I think within our lifetime, we're going to see another Super Mario Brothers movie. Live action Super Mario Brothers movie.
I go animated. I think it should be animated.
I don't think so. I think it's going to be live action. They they captivated the audiences.
Pixar, Mario.
I'm going. I don't mean to be on your side. I'm here for you.
Wow.
I'm going animated, Wreck-It Ralph, Big Hero 6. I think that we are seeing these superhero animated movies, and Mario is.
How's that different than the video game, though? From a story point of view, to me, that's the cool thing that would make a Mario movie. I would be way more eager to watch a Mario movie because it's a live action Mario movie rather than great. You're gonna show me the animation.
A live action movie would have to be so stylized in the vein of Speed Racer.
Wes Anderson's Super Mario Brothers.
No.
Luke Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, there's no
Mario the Wilson brothers.
If you see, you've seen the original Super Mario Bros. Movie, all the cosplayers, and there's even been commercials that Nintendo's produced with live action characters. Mario, he just looks terrible. He's never looked good as a human, a normal human, a normally shaped, normally built human. I don't think it could ever be successfully pulled off.
That's a challenge, but I think it's going to happen within our lifetime. We're going to see a live action.
If only I could grow a mustache.
I mean, this is like trying to do live action Dragon Ball.
You're right. That's true.
All right. Moving on to trailers this week. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation.
Say it your way.
Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. I don't know why I've never noticed this before. The colon after mission seems really weird. Like
the mission, it's classified as impossible. That's where it is. It's the missions that they.
Yeah.
So like they will have like
what does IMF stand for?
Impossible Mission Force. Yeah.
That is so silly.
It is. But I mean, the TV show was silly, so
Yeah.
the movies have taken a more serious turn as of late. But since the third one, not completely, but they're not silly.
J.J. Abrams revival, Bad Robot.
Yes,
That's right. I love the reveal for this. This is something that I found out about it through our weekly, or text group. Or somebody was watching basketball and they said that was awesome. They just teased the trailer for Mission Impossible. So I did not get to see that tease out of nowhere. You're right, but it is a movie that's coming out this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So out of nowhere, but definitely necessary somewhere.
Just got pushed to summer, right, from the fall. I don't know,
It's
winter or fall.
Summer release?
Yeah, I think it was one or the other, but I'm pretty sure the news was that it got pushed to summer from the fall, from later in the year, probably because of Star Wars.
So, did you like the trailer? Or did you go see the movie?
Even before there was a trailer, I was going to be there opening day.
Mm-hmm.
This franchise has taken, and it's such a good way. I think this is a franchise that movie after movie just keeps getting better and better.
Comparable
and better.
to Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
I guess one could say.
Absolutely. I mean, and to tell you the truth, this is Tom Cruise's, victory lap every time he makes one of these. Tom Cruise doesn't really do anything
Still got
more. And he still has it with Mission Impossible. I think it's before the trailer, I was going to be there opening day. Now with the trailer, opening morning, man, it's going to be outstanding.
Hear that,
like
Guillermo's employer? He's calling out.
On July 31st, Guillermo's calling a sick day.
July 31st, it's in IMAX. This is the cool thing. Last Mission Impossible movie was shot with IMAX cameras.
And I didn't know.
Which, that was one of the first movies to actually have that.
Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol was the film that played the Dark Knight intro. If you saw it in IMAX, you got to see the Dark Knight Rises intro. Excuse me.
The trailer, the clown scene, right?
No, Dark Knight Rises.
Okay, so what was it?
The plane scene.
Yeah, the plane
that's
scene.
right, the plane scene with Bane.
You might ask why I should have done before throwing him off.
And now, Rogue Nation has its own plane scene.
Interesting. But, going after the success or the personal success of going to an IMAX gigantic screen to see Interstellar this year, I see myself going on July 31st to another gigantic IMAX screen to see this movie. I think it's going to be so cool.
I'm sad I missed the fourth one.
You never saw Ghost Protocol?
No, I saw the movie. I'm saying I missed it in IMAX.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure we'll get another marathon.
I agree. Ghost was the best movie of the franchise so far. Before that was 3.
I disagree.
That's fair. Like, I don't feel
Before
like...
that was 4.
Ghost Protocol was 4?
No. Okay, so yes. So before that was 3. I agree with you.
I mean...
Oh, now you two are taking sides.
No. So hang on. Rank him in so from 1 through 4. Rank them.
4, 3, 1, 2.
4, 3, 1, 2. Yes, 2 being the worst.
3, 4, 1, 2.
I'm fine with that. I won't argue with that.
But we all agree that number 2 was the worst.
Yes.
Yes.
By
Okay.
far.
I think
That's
Tom Cruise
crazy.
agrees on that.
Yeah, is that?
Probably.
It had such big buzz, and I remember. So this, number 2 was one movie that I didn't see it when it was a movie theater. I enjoyed Mission Impossible 1 greatly. The Nintendo 64 game was outstanding. That scene with the lasers, with you trying to, make it through, get the computer chip, with the lasers and moving your guy just enough. It was one of the coolest scenes and coolest games. You know, that was right after the heels of GoldenEye, so this was outstanding game, Mission Impossible.
Bringing up that scene real quick, great scene. No matter how hard they try, they will never make a scene that iconic again. And I feel like they try, like you kind of see them try and do that again with the building climbing of Ghost Protocol or something. But like that scene is just
that would have been their IMAX scene if they had the cameras back then.
It was it's that movie. I watched it recently, maybe within the last 3 months. The first Mission Impossible. It holds up. It still holds up. I mean, definitely the characters look a lot younger. But
not Tom Cruise.
Rames, Big Rames, man.
Yeah,
that dude definitely does. So definitely, it's pretty interesting. I'm glad you guys agree number 2 was the worst, because where I was going with is when I saw it. This was right before number 3 came out. I was so deflated because so many people had said, "Oh, that was so great. And number 2 was the coolest thing ever." I was so disappointed, and I went to number 3 to the movie theater with the lowest of lowest expectations. So I think that's probably one of the reasons I liked it so much.
I believe it was directed by our almost potential Metroid director, John Woo.
Yes,
right?
2 was directed
Number
by
2 was John Woo. Yeah. No, not 3. 3 was
Abrams.
3 is J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams. Outstanding.
Did have lens flare.
Thumbs up all around.
Yep.
So you're excited by the trailer?
Am I excited about the trailer? It's okay. It's an okay trailer. I don't hate on it. I like the movies, so I'm excited for the movies. But the trailer
trailer didn't hurt.
The trailer didn't hurt, but it did feel redundant. I wonder how much they're going to rehash scenes.
It was long.
It was long. It didn't hurt, but it wasn't it didn't make me excited for the movie.
Yeah.
Were you surprised if anybody? Maybe I just haven't been following. When I saw Alec Baldwin pop up, I was like, "Where did that come from?" Definitely did not expect that.
I haven't been following this movie, so
I don't think anybody has. There hasn't been that much buzz. I mean, the last thing I heard about it was when it was filming, but then there's no been. It hasn't been the top of the headlines for a while.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything since it was announced they were filming that plane stunt.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's a trailer.
And because you asked, I will say one thing negative about the trailer. When Hunt is on the motorcycle, he looks weird. Tom Cruise looks weird.
Looks like he's way back on the...
I don't know if it's
way past the seat.
Or what, but it's just a really odd... he looks like a weird human being in that scene.
Yeah.
But Tom Cruise does not look like a weird human being the rest of his life. Like that one section.
He might act like a weird human being.
Random Tom Cruise facts, and I don't even know if it's true, second knowledge. I went out with my in-laws, and they're like, "Yeah, blah blah, Katie Holmes divorced Tom Cruise," and I'm like, "I didn't know that." You didn't know that? And I'm like, "Sorry, I haven't been keeping up with."
Absolutely, man.
When was this?
I don't know.
You don't know this?
Last week.
Last week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow, you're not following your Tom Cruise.
I give you props for not knowing that.
I care about the movies, not the people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
I mean,
I'm not hating on it.
I'm shocked you didn't know that, but major props.
So here's the kicker. Here's the kicker.
Be even better if you didn't know they were married, though.
No,
Ever.
What? Katie Holmes from Dawson's Creek? Here's the kicker, and why I want to get you guys your opinion. So last week we talked about documentaries and how HBO has the Scientology documentary premiering, I believe, a week from this Sunday coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and they're pimping it really hard.
That's right.
Anytime I watch it on HBO Go, it's that commercial.
Exactly. And then part of it is going to be a big focus of this documentary. Apparently, it's on the relationship of Tom Cruise and his wives. So part of it is going to be Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman story, and Tom Cruise, Katie Holmes story. So that's going to be could hurt this movie.
Somebody's going to end up getting arrested at the end.
I'm not happy with hearing that about the documentary. I wish the documentary focused on the religion and the concepts and maybe the cult, that the religion as a whole, and not starting to focus on these high profile celebrities as part of it. It it makes it feel cheap. I've heard good things about it, but it makes it feel like it's going for that name recognition.
Absolutely. But the kicker is here. So Scientology, the only way to really find out what they do and what the beliefs are is to get into the cult or
First rule of Fight Club.
That's right. So you don't talk about it. But apparently, and this is what we're going to find out in the documentary is Tom Cruise. He's somebody higher within the religion. Like the dude is like an icon within the religion. They go worship Tom Cruise across the temples or whatever.
So will you on July 31st?
When you're not working.
Right. Is that a Friday? What are we doing here?
It's got to be a weekday, that's for sure.
Well, that'll be interesting when we can watch that a week or two from now. But what have we been watching now?
What have we been watching now? So I'll kick us out. I started, or this weekend, I dedicated myself to watch Empire.
How is it?
So this is the Fox most watched TV show of all times. This beat out the records.
Say what?
I know. That
For
was
Fox or any?
for anything.
It beat out American Idol?
It had bigger audience at some point than the Super Bowl.
Weird.
How come I have not heard a thing about this show?
Exactly. So
I think I have an idea, and I can't say it online.
So I was very biased to the concept of the show. At the beginning, Fox had already given us Glee, and Glee it was very cool from the get-go, and then it just got repetitive, and it wasn't entertaining anymore. Mm-hmm. And then Nashville was another musically centered show, which kind of had the same thing for me. And I gave it like maybe the first 2 episodes of Nashville, and I just dropped. So out of that, when I heard about Empire, they're like, well, it's, Glee and Nashville, but now in the hip hop world. I thought, well, I don't really care too much about the hip hop side of things. I mean, I like hip hop music, but I just don't care. Like I didn't think it was geared towards me, so that's why I didn't pick it up. But when I kept hearing the buzz and people were just talking about Empire, I was like, all right, I'll give it a go.
Did you like it?
I enjoyed it a lot. Did I like it? Yes, I liked it. I think it's 12 episodes is the first season. I was so surprised.
They half hour or an hour?
They're 1 hour or 40 minutes, I guess, because they're
1 hour block.
They're Fox. Yeah, I was so surprised with the characters. This show, the strongest thing that it has going for them is the characters. They are. I mean, we have an Oscar-nominated actress in this TV show as one of the lead actors or actresses with Taraji. Can't recall her name, but she was nominated for an Oscar for The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. She was the caretaker mom of Benjamin Button, so she was nominated for an Oscar on that. And then she plays a character in Empire called Cookie. That's her name. It's Cookie, and she is outstanding, man. That whole show, she steals the show.
Some crazy eyes.
She has crazy eyes beat by far.
Whoa.
And this Empire, I guarantee you, Empire, the next Emmys and Golden Globe cycle, it's going to kill. It's going to win everything.
The new Homeland.
Terrence Howard, it's outstanding. Outstanding. I mean, the guy plays Terrence Howard, really. But he finally found that one. I don't know. Did you guys see Hustle and Flow?
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Hustle and Flow, he plays a similar character, but this is like if Hustle and Flow was successful, and then his character now became a hip hop mogul. Like that's where this whole Empire kicks off. Outstanding series, I recommend it. I found myself a little bit let down by the finale, but I think this is as a season 1. Very strong season 1. You can run through it quickly. I'm really excited to see where they take it.
When will Terrence Howard be replaced by Don Cheadle?
Don Cheadle's going to become Captain America, so.
Or War Machine.
Anything else you've been watching that you want to plug?
No.
That you've been enjoying?
That's really it. Empire was my only accomplishment for the last week. So that's it.
Drew? I have, on the TV front, have watched or begun watching nothing new, but I did finish season 5 of Californication.
There you go.
Continuing on, only 2 seasons left now.
It's painful for me.
Yeah.
Like, happy you have to watch this. Like, you don't sound like you're enjoying it.
No. It was good. I mean, it has, I think, declined steadily from season 1,
Ooh.
but not a steep decline. It's
not to the point that you're going to stop.
Yeah, no. I think unless season 6 is just the worst thing I've ever seen, I will go through all the way through season 7.
I try to keep myself away from is shows like Empire. The fact that now I am hooked.
You have to wait a year,
and I have to wait the whole cycle to keep at it, and then week by week. So that I'm pretty upset about that I did that to myself, because I think I'll definitely be one of those watching.
Interesting little fact too, Californication's final season was last year, or aired last year, and now David Duchovny is returning for the X-Files miniseries.
You said TV shows.
Yes.
Any movies?
Movies. This 4 days in a row I watched a movie. Actually, I was very proud of myself because I've been so obsessed with TV shows lately that I've been ignoring my movies. So Friday night I watched Pitch Perfect.
First time?
Yeah, first time.
Really?
Surprisingly,
how was it?
Good.
My wife's friends have been telling her that she has to watch it because she hasn't seen it yet.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Do you have a copy? Can I borrow it?
Yeah. Yes, I own a copy. I don't think I have it here.
His parents.
Absolutely, guys. If you care to know, I own movies, and I own Pitch Perfect. That movie is outstanding. I think
I laughed a good bit.
No, it's good.
Pitch Perfect 2. I'm really looking forward to it.
There's even a movie nerd in there that I related to. Yeah.
So, it's outstanding. That movie, it's very well done. It was one of the big surprises of last summer, right?
Yeah.
Last summer, I think it was.
More leaning towards a female audience, but men can enjoy it for sure.
It's a good movie, solid comedy, solid Friday night movie.
Yeah.
What did you do Saturday?
Earlier in the week, I went through, like I said, this is how I came across Derek's Netflix special, or whatever. I was going through also what was ending on Netflix. And I was seeing what's ending in April that is in my to-watch list. Good Morning Vietnam. Something I've never seen. I put in my list, when Robin Williams passed.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to watch this. So Saturday morning, I'm eating my breakfast. I watch Good Morning Vietnam. Surprisingly dark. I was like, it's in Vietnam, but I didn't know Robin Williams had taken on. His role wasn't necessarily dark, but roles in dark movies that early on in his career, I was surprised by that. And one scene got me almost teared up, and which made me believe he was worthy for his Oscar nomination for that movie. So, yeah, he didn't win, but he was nominated.
Have you seen it, Chris? Good Morning Vietnam.
Forever ago. I was a kid. I would need to rewatch this as an adult.
Correct. I don't think I watched the whole entire movie.
There's a scene near the end where they're playing it's a really happy song, really popular, really happy song.
For real.
While showing no, not if it were made today, maybe it would be that. But although they'd be taken to court probably. But yeah, this really happy song. Yeah. It's a Wonderful World. I don't know if that's the title, but
What a Wonderful
World. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. What a Wonderful World. And while that's playing, they're showing Vietnamese citizens being shot in the streets and stuff like that. So I was like, whoa,
that's terrible.
That was crazy.
That's heavy.
That's some Full Metal Jacket nonsense,
right? Exactly. I was very pleased with that.
Recommend it?
I do recommend it.
Okay.
Robin Williams fans that want to see it, I'm sure they already have.
So the hardest thing that I have, and on this podcast, I'll be the ones to tell you, I have not seen Dead Poets Society. I have not seen Good Morning Vietnam.
Good Will Hunting?
Good Will Hunting I have.
Okay.
Good Will Hunting
I have not seen Good Will Hunting.
Have you seen Good Will Hunting?
Yes, I've seen Goodwill and Dead Poets.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
Goodwill's a better movie.
Good Will, it's an outstanding movie.
Dead Poets is so boring to me.
Pretentious?
Yeah,
I've never seen it, so I don't know.
So here's the deal. So going with that, it seems to me it's hard for me to just say on Saturday night, Sunday morning, whatever, and say that's the movie I want to watch. Just because I guess you gotta be in the right kind of mood for those movies.
Well, for the past year, like I've been sold on watching movies because they were leaving Netflix.
Okay.
Leaving Netflix streaming, so I'm like, it's helped me get through a lot of movies.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's helped. That was Saturday. Sunday, I watched Philadelphia.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So yeah,
Did you ever watch
that's another one. That's another one leaving Netflix. That was in my queue. It was Good Morning Vietnam, Philadelphia.
Oscar nominated for
Tom Hanks, and the song "Streets of Philadelphia."
Yes,
whatever. Two songs actually, but it won for "Streets of Philadelphia."
Barely made the cut to our movie theme soundtrack.
Yeah, I didn't recognize it, so I would now, but yeah,
that's right.
I didn't then. So that movie, Philadelphia is directed by the same man that directed Silence of the Lambs just a year or two earlier. Mm-hmm. And it is noticeable that this is like a horror film director. There are some shots in there that are just really strange. I was like, what, did Terry Gilliam direct this movie? Like,
Jonathan
what is this?
Demme.
Yeah. Jonathan Demme. Yeah, I think after Philadelphia, like, his movies have not been well received. But, yeah. So it wasn't even nominated for Best Picture.
Did you watch Something Happy on Monday?
Yeah, it didn't turn out well though. I mean, it's a happy themed.
Philadelphia though, what'd you think?
Philadelphia, it was strange. Tom Hanks, I don't know if he should have. Going back, I would not have picked him.
Denzel, man.
Yeah, I would not have picked him over Liam Neeson in Schindler's List for Best Actor.
That's the thing. I mean, look at
his performance is half based on his makeup, like of his physical deterioration.
Yeah,
and
his demeanor, man.
Yeah, he carries it well as far as like the lightheadedness and stuff like that. But it's a little over the top, if you ask me.
Again, and I could be wrong. It's been a while since I saw this movie. I know Tom Hanks is the character that drives the story, but I almost feel like Denzel Washington, from memory, is more the lead actor. Like, I don't know what their screen time looks like, but
yeah, because like Denzel doesn't come in until like halfway in the movie. Okay. Halfway into the movie. Like he appears in the very beginning, but then is out for a while and comes back. He was, I think, more worthy of a nomination. I don't think he got one.
Agreed.
But yeah, I don't know.
That year, that's one of the reasons I remember Philadelphia is that year. It was just a sad year for movies. I remember, like, that's the year I watched Schindler's List and I watched Philadelphia. I mean, I'm 93. I'm 6 years old. Maybe I watched them in maybe 94. So 7 years old. Definitely don't understand
Schindler's List. God.
Well, Schindler's List was a historical movie, so of course, it was okay to watch it because it was something about history. And Philadelphia was just one of those that. It was just a sad movie. And then that song, whenever The Streets of Philadelphia by Bruce Springsteen plays, I just remember that, like, it's just sad. It makes me sad. That movie and that song makes me sad. So
it was a weird movie. I'm not really sure how I felt about it. Because of the direction of the movie, it was so strange. At points, it really took me out of the movie. I don't know, like, maybe back in 1993, that was fancy filmmaking. I don't know.
It just seemed that was what was going on around that time. That was the Hollywood theme. It wasn't there was no sci-fis around there. 93, I think, was a terrible year for sci-fi, right?
Well, Jurassic Park came out in 1993, but
when I saw it way too young. I saw it like on video, so 94 or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's probably where I'm at.
So real quick,
happy movie.
My fourth on Monday was another one leaving Netflix in April. it was Get Shorty.
Ah, yeah.
It opened up really strong for the first 30 minutes or so, but I was bored from that point on to the end of the movie. I'm hardly ever bored while watching a movie. Like, it was, I don't know. It just nothing ever changed. It felt the same from beginning to end. There were no ups and downs.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of old movies. Like, I saw every movie you mentioned, but like I said, like, so long ago that I can't really dive into if I have thoughts or opinions on them anymore.
Yep. So at the end of March, I'll be watching a few more of them, leaving Netflix. But yeah.
But that's cool. I mean, again, Netflix knows what they're doing. They're driving people to watch these, and they're making it known. Like, listen, March 23rd, this new one's come in, but in order for these new ones, we're taking these down. And they're making those lists like 2 weeks in advance for that exact thing to get that those kind of responses.
And then they're getting press. Like, before you used to have to hunt those down. Now those are just like on every site. Like, this.
I remember one. Yeah, exactly. I was trying to hunt them down. Like, oh man, I wonder if somebody would make a list like this. So that was pretty cool.
For me, I watched a couple things, but things I'll call out real quick. I kept watching Last Man on Earth. I think I watched 5 episodes.
How is that?
I'm done.
Yes.
Like,
all right.
It is.
You agree, I assume?
It was a better pilot than it was a show.
Yikes.
They lost me at episode 1.
You think it would have made a better movie?
I think it would have been too long. I think the premise would have. No, I mean, like, for
the premise is done.
Short film.
It would have been a good short film. So I'm done with it. People keep watching it. People still like it outside of this room. So also started watching Community. Edgar mentioned it last week. I will echo his sentiments. It holds up. It's its 6th season. Yeah, that's right. It's its 6th season. It's solid for 6th season.
And they said it's
episode 2 though, right?
Probably it's final. Like, maybe I think the contract's in, so that's how they were able to like grab them for Yahoo instead of NBC.
It depends on how it does.
Yeah. I mean, one of the campaigns they always had was 6 seasons in a movie. Okay. So maybe they'll be willing to like hit that fan commitment. I mean, it still has high production values. It's still like it goes like 26-minute episode. So it's good. If you like Community, you'll like it. If you don't like Community, you won't like it. It's like, and then the movie I saw was Cinderella.
Okay. Thoughts?
Please.
I thought it was a movie. I was fine with it. I don't hate it. I didn't love it. It is, in my opinion, the best of the live-action Disney movies that come out.
It's the best reviewed one.
Because outside of specific scenes, for the most part, it's the most realistic. I mean, Maleficent and Alice in Wonderland are very fantastical all over the place. And this is just more. I mean, it's still stylized, but it's more grounded. There's more just grounded moments, day-to-day beats. And I think that they do. I think that goes a long way.
Does anybody steal the show for you?
No.
Nobody stands out?
I know everybody wants to say Kate Blanchett.
Is she the stepmother?
Yeah.
I was thinking more Helena Bonham Carter.
I hate her.
Yeah.
I don't. I just, whenever she shows up in the movie, and I cringe. Like, I'm working, I'm weird, and oh, look at me, I'm so weird.
Helena, if you're listening, I'm sorry about that.
So, and I mean that's her shtick, and she plays it fine, and she's Helena Carter, whatever. But yeah, everybody wants to say Kate steals the show, and she does a good job. She does a good job. I'm not
I love Kate Blanchett.
She does a bad job, but I don't know. I don't.
How about the Frozen short? Just a quick mention.
There was a Frozen short. It was shorter than I expected it to be, which maybe that was my fault. I feel like the shorts are typically 5 to 10 minutes. This felt like it was 3 to 5 minutes. It was essentially one song.
Okay. And then I guess not memorable since you.
I remember the scenes, but I don't necessarily remember the notes. It had a Frozen callback, and it had a funny joke at the end. But like for the rest of it, it wasn't like it had a couple Frozen Foot callbacks. I guess like
all the main characters returned.
Yes, every single person you could consider a main character is back.
Even the bad ones.
Maybe.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
So,
Gotta go see Cinderella.
it's 3 minutes. I'm not going to spoil 3 minutes short. Like you can watch it.
It will hit you too long soon enough.
So it was good. Seeing as call the short box. Just real quick, went to the San Marco Theater. I don't know if you guys have ever been there. It's a interesting experience.
It's been a while since I've been to
I
San
haven't been
Marco.
there in a long time.
I think I was in high school last time I went see a movie there.
It's a one-screen theater. Mm-hmm. The movie schedule starts at 7:10. It starts at 7:10. No trailers whatsoever. Movie, bam, Frozen short. 7:10 on the dot.
Wow. Good thing you were on time.
And then there's not a lot of seats. And one of the reasons there's not a lot of seats is it goes seat, little table. Seat, little table. And you can, there's a food counter where you can buy, pizza and quesadillas and
beer
and pitchers of beer and wine, which we sat up front, which to me makes all of those back rows unusable. Like if I got to the theater late and those were the seats, I would turn around and demand a refund. I'd be like, I would refuse. I am not sitting next to your Coke machine and your Slurpee machine and a line of people ordering popcorn.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it was just an interesting area to be in and experience. Definitely one of the most noisy theaters I've been in. I would never go see
the movie that you want to see.
Wars.
Yeah, movie that I want to see. But going with friends, maybe I'll see almost anything if someone's like, hey, you want to go see this? Except for Neighbors. Sorry, Bill. I apologize. But for the most part, I'll see anything. So it was just a different theater experience, which I know AMC and some other people have been playing around with.
Fair enough.
Topic of the week is going to be our March movie madness bracket.
Sure.
Drew, Guillermo put this together for the Facebook group, which you can join at facebook.com/nerdyxpcinecast.
Right.
And round one concluded. So, what are some of the highlight results? Or
sure. So as you guys know, it's four main categories. Movie themes, musical Disney, movie source, and TV themes. So I'll just run down as to what the matchups look like now. And I highlight the ones that were the toughest, the closest calls. So for the next matchups, we have the Terminator theme going against the Duel of the Fates. So very strong.
Terminator theme shouldn't even be there, guys. I'm disappointed.
Terminator theme beat out the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Just real quick, can we just everybody check it out on the Facebook group, the actual matchups?
Yes.
But what were the matchups that just ended? What were some of the closest ones, or some of the more?
And I'll mention them as I'm going through the results. Terminator beats out Pirates. Jaws gets defeated by Duel of the Fates. So that's the first John Williams against John Williams Duel of the Fates, episode 1, very iconic. So that's a matchup that we have is the Terminator theme against Duel of the Fates. Then we have another John Williams beating John Williams with Superman March beating out E.T. And then the one that here was a close call was Concerning Hobbits, which is the theme for Lord of the Rings, or the main melody for Lord of the Rings, against 2001 Space Odyssey. And Concerning Hobbits beats out Space Odyssey by 1.
Neither of those are going to move any further, so it doesn't really matter.
That's right. So we have the matchup then. They're set up as Superman March and Concerning Hobbits. And that's the top half of that bracket. Then we have one that was really hard for me, and which was Back to the Future against Jurassic Park. One of the few Alan Silvestri scores that are on these. I really was hoping that this one would make it farther than it did, but Jurassic Park had the thunder, and Jurassic Park wins that one. And I think it was actually pretty strongly biased towards Jurassic Park.
Guillermo and I were the only two people who voted for Back to the Future. Anybody else who voted for Jurassic Park.
I'll repeat what I said earlier. Suckers.
And then we have the other one. So the Batman theme against James Bond. One of the most epic matchups, I guess. We were talking about Batman theme by Danny Elfman and James Bond theme that's been reused in pretty much all the Bond movies. To note here, the tiebreaker for this category came from a celebrity tweet.
Sort of.
Celebrity, sort of celebrity. So Ralph Garman is part of the, in LA, he's pretty big. He's part of the K-Rock morning show. So he's a pretty well-known guy. He's a voice actor. He was in Agent Carter. He's he's now part of the Marvel Cinematic, minor role in it, but he's in it. And he also does one of Kevin Smith's podcasts, which is Hollywood Babylon, where they talk about similar stuff that we talk about. So he's definitely a cool guy that I just started following. In this morning, I just said, need help settling this tiebreaker. What is it going to be? Is it Batman or is it 007 theme? And Ralph Garman, I mean, this is a guy whose idol is Adam West. So this is Batman hardcore guy. And to surprise everybody, he says, I'm going to have to go with 007 on this one. And immediately, like, a bunch of tweets start showing up like, what? Ralph Garman chose 007 over Batman? So that was definitely pretty cool to get that reaction from Twitter world. So that sets up the matchup of Jurassic Park against James Bond. The toughest, I think, out of this whole bracket from day one was the Raiders March against Star Wars. Another John Williams against John Williams matchup. Outcome was Star Wars beats out Raiders by one person. So if you're listening to this and you wanted Raiders to win, we failed because Star Wars made it through, which sets up the matchup of another John Williams matchup, which
just call the ones that aren't John Williams at this point.
So Star Wars, so it's now set up as Star Wars against the Imperial March, who beat out the Harry Potter theme, and that concludes the movie theme bracket, which is fairly dominated with John Williams. So if you don't enjoy John Williams, definitely get out there and vote for the next rounds to try to keep your other favorites alive.
Here's what I think.
Yes.
I think Raiders March is recycled Superman March.
That's terrible. I think Raiders is one of the most original pieces by John Williams.
If we weighted the bracket, Raiders would have gone further. But seeing as all the brackets were randomized, Raiders just had a tough opening battle.
I mean, that's how we did it. We did it. Everything, all the rankings were random, and it just had right off the gate. I mean, that whole category, I think it was just strong all across the board. Then we got into the musical Disney categories. I'll tell you who the survivors were. What's This by Nightmare Before Christmas beats out Pinocchio's Wish Upon a Star, and then that sets up exactly, and that sets up. Be Your Guest that beats out It's a Small World, which I thought was going to make it far for some reason. But I think the hatred toward that song is more than anything else. So Be Your Guest goes against What's This. Then the surprise here was A Whole New World beats out Beauty and the Beast. So Aladdin beats out Beauty and the Beast. And then we have Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious gets beat out by Let It Go. So Frozen continues to have a sweep, which sets up the matchup of A Whole New World against Let It Go. Yo-Ho goes against The Circle of Life, which had an interesting matchup. It was Lion King against Lion King, so choose your favorite, Hakuna Matata or Circle of Life. Circle of Life made it through, and I think it's definitely because of that intro.
Circle of Life is my favorite of this entire quarter of the bracket.
Okay, let's see if we can take it through, man. And then the next one was Grease, one of our musical entries. Summer Nights gets beat out by Under the Sea. So Sebastian the crab gets beats out John Travolta's singing, and then You Got a Friend in Me beats out I Ho. So that closes out that category. Definitely still very strong contenders. I think we have a weaker lower half of that bracket. But definitely, it's interesting. It's very interesting how this whole thing is turning out. On the movie source category, the matchups for this next round are set up Everything is awesome against that thing you do. Everything is awesome beat out one of my favorites, and this was another one that was a very close tiebreaker. I don't
Why?
Miss a
I don't
Thing
know.
by Armageddon. It's considered the number one hit by Aerosmith. That's why. Bigger than anything else by them.
Shrugging.
One that I was completely surprised by the domination of Axel F against Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On Titanic theme. I thought this was going to be like, all right, here's the death of Axel F. Titanic did not make it. So Axel F against Eye of the Tiger. So 80s icons is going to be the matchup for this next round.
I have the Tiger to the Final Four. Like, it's going to sweep that.
It could, but I think on the bottom half of that bracket it has a strong contender. Hooked on a Feeling beat out, I Believe I Can Fly from Space Jam. Hooked on a Feeling, we're gearing it here from Guardians of the Galaxy. And then I Will Always Love You beats out The Power of Love from Back to the Future.
How ironic is that? Two love songs.
That's right. No love for Back to the Future in this bracket. The next one was, which also hurt, but it was a landslide domination, was the Ghostbusters theme against Bohemian Rhapsody, as used in Wayne's World. It hurt to vote against Bohemian Rhapsody, being that I am a very big Queen fan. Ghostbusters just has the better recognition theme. And then the one that I was surprised is I've Had the Time of My Life from Dirty Dancing got beat out by Soul Bossa Nova, which is also known as the theme to the Austin Powers series. Definitely, if you're a girl and you're listening to this, I'm sure you're upset. So definitely get out there and vote next time.
Womanizer.
What's the one that you voted for?
Out of this whole category?
Because wasn't there a bracket that you only got one vote from you?
I can't remember.
Don't worry about it then.
I can't remember, but I think it's on the TV themes bracket. So the setups are like that. Axel F, Eye of the Tiger, Hooked on a Feeling goes against I Will Always Love You, and Ghostbusters goes against Soul Bossa Nova.
So it's Ghostbusters that you think
I think Ghostbusters is the one that makes it all the way to the Final Four on this one.
I think Ghostbusters is a better movie, so it might, because people will attach their feelings for the movie to the song, but I think Eye of the Tiger is a better song.
Fair enough.
Gotta watch out for those catchy ones, though. Ghostbusters is catchy. Seen
on TV themes. So here's the rundown. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles survives the Happy Days. The Office theme gets taken down by I'll Be There For You from Friends. And here's the contender. I think this is the Cinderella story here of the whole deal. Is I'll Be There For You from Friends.
No.
Then we have the strong contender here of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air beats out the Rescue Rangers. One of my favorites, but it was just another one that got an unfair matchup. The Pink Panther, surprisingly and almost overwhelmingly, beats out the Seinfeld theme, which most people recognize as just that bass line, but the Pink Panther makes it through. Go-Go Power Rangers beats out the Full House theme of Everywhere You Look strongly, but unfortunately the Pokemon theme beats out the Addams Family and now sets up this matchup of the Power Rangers against Pokemon. Very interesting. I can't call that one.
Power Rangers is the best TV theme of all time.
Oof.
But I want to be the very best. The best that ever was.
Doesn't matter.
Nice. Mission Impossible beats out Meet the Flintstones by, like, nobody voted against Meet the Flintstones.
Yeah, I think that was the only zero.
So this was the only zero that was Mission Impossible. And then the next one was...
Here's the one where I was the only one to vote for it.
This was another landslide one. That was DuckTales beating out the X-Men theme. So definitely a surprise. DuckTales.
Crap. X-Men theme is amazing.
It played a little bit on the nostalgia factor, but that's pretty much it. It sets up pretty interesting matchups again. I'm pretty excited of where this is going. Again, so I encourage everybody to join our Facebook group, like our Facebook group. Leave your comments tomorrow morning or later down tonight. This is Tuesday night. You'll be seeing the next set of matchups and the updated bracket. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And any thoughts? You guys excited about this?
I want to see Go-Go Power Rangers go all the way. Power Rangers versus Imperial March.
I'm so excited because part of this has been giving me an opportunity to use Twitter a little bit more and just tweet at random people. Celebrities to me.
Yeah,
are answering. And
have you asked Kevin Smith yet?
Kevin Smith has not responded yet. That's the one guy who has not retweeted me, and I think that's the one guy.
Everybody else you tweeted at has retweeted you.
No, not Jimmy Fallon has not. Kevin Smith has not. Once I get retweets from
Jimmy
one
Fallon
of those two guys,
pays people to look at his tweets.
He's pretty original, man. Once he gets his guys, one of those two guys, I think I'll be pretty excited.
Winner.
So update to our challenge, Twitter challenge. I am winning. So that's really it.
Twitter challenge that you introduced.
That's right, knowing that I would win it. So I am winning it at this point.
I thought about it, and I thought about just like tweeting at random celebrities just to win, and then I'm like, you know what? That's not me. Like if I have something to say to them, I'll say it to them. But if not.
And that's exactly how I felt every single time I sent one of these tweets. If you notice, every single tweet that I made it something like a reason.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm trying to plug or stuff, but I also say like, that's awesome. I enjoyed this from that you do.
Right.
So that you love Batman. Is it better than James Bond?
Right. So like I the people who enjoy Star Wars, I'm definitely sending them the Star Wars theme tweet. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not saying like, listen, just tell me something like that he probably has no interest or she. So definitely excited about this whole deal. Definitely excited for listeners that are taking the time to organize a playlist to know about all these themes. So definitely I guess a double shout out to our listeners.
Yeah, again, thank you, Ivan, for putting together that Spotify playlist.
Yep.
Definitely appreciate it. And thank you guys for listening to this week's episode. If you like what we had to say and want to hear more from us, I'm Chris Peterson. You can follow me on Twitter at NerdEXP. I also do a Gamecast on Thursdays, so you can catch that out. And I'm also doing writing features, which you can catch at nerdexp.com. If you want to hear more from Drew, you can catch him at World is Squared Backwards. Close. He also does a horror podcast reviewing movies called Straight Chillin'.
Chilling.
Heard both ways.
You have.
And if you want to hear more from Guillermo, he is that guy in line. Please retweet everything he says.
That's right.
Especially if we have more than 80,000 followers, so we can win.
That's right.
And thank you, Guillermo, for putting together the bracket, Facebook groups, and interacting with it, which you guys can too. Please vote on the next round. Let's make sure Pokemon beats out Power Rangers.
I will quit.
Well, thank you, Drew.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Memo.
Yeah, you got it.
And thank you for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode, and then we helped you with your movie IQ. Level up, friends.